Hey everyone, Yoiston here, and I hope you all are doing well, wherever you are in Middle-earth on this Friday evening, at least it is for us, or whatever time that you're watching this. I'm joined once more by my good friend Royan, and the guys from ArdaCraft. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
They are quite a few of us here on the call tonight, so I'm just going to say right off the bat, if we run into any audio issues or anything like that, please just let us know, as soon as possible, and I'll try to adjust that here. Tonight, we're also going to be raising money like we did last year for the International Rescue Committee. They're doing good work around the world to make sure people have food, people are safe, people get shelter, especially with everything that's going on right now around the world. I think it's important. So thank you all so much for being here. If you guys want to check out ArdaCraft during or after this stream, we'll hit quite a few places throughout, but if you want to check out ArdaCraft, link is in the description below. It's one of the top links. So please check them out and let them know that Men of the West says hi. Real fast here, we're going to go through and thank our Valar tier patrons right off the bat before we jump into ArdaCraft. If you guys would like to also donate or anything, right, any amount helps the International Rescue Committee, please feel free to do that. There should be an option along the chat for this live stream. This should also be going on through this weekend of like November 20th to 21st, I think is when it closes. So feel free to donate throughout the weekend, and thank you so much. Again, any amount helps. Real fast, thank you to our Valar tier patrons: Peter Sheppard, Jonathan Putnam, Mark Kralick, Blair Scouten, Merten, John Hume, Sam McBee, Matt Sibbach, Elizabeth Calvert, Maz Gibs, Rhys Jenkins, Adam Petrlik, Anthony Harmon, Dorwin Gray, Arthur Merlin, DJ Vaught, Dale Davis, and Alex Grimes. Thank you so much to all of our patrons and YouTube members. The support really means a lot. Alrighty, now, without further ado, we'll be checking through the live stream here periodically. I want to say, ArdaCraft, you guys are in the chat as well, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Perfect. So if you guys have questions, feel free to let us know in the chat. We'll address some on stream, and others will be just addressed in chat. So we'll be checking through there. And all right, here we go, my friends. Thank you again so much for being here. No, you're not late at all. We're just getting started. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We start our adventure, of course, anywhere else, could there be anywhere else, at Bag End. And here's our crew that we're rolling with tonight. Royan is our normal Steve over here. Fornod. Fornod, who are you again?
I am the sort of admin founder figure of ArdaCraft.
Yeah, perfect. Awesome. Love it. We've got Hearthseeker. Perfect. Our Bilbo over here. Builder Lindeler?
Let's call him Lind.
Lind?
Yeah, you could just say Lind.
Mr. Bombadil himself. Steward Argento. A ghost. Straight up ghost.
Yep.
And yes, here we are at Bag End. Let us know, guys, in the chat here if there are any technical difficulties or anything like that. We'll try to get them adjusted. But we start our adventure. We'll just do a quick walkthrough at Bag End. So tell us, guys from ArdaCraft, when you began the server, when you began constructing all of this, run us through that process. How many years ago was it? Where did you start? And kind of what was your inspiration?
Well, we started back in 2014, so we've been going a little while now. We in fact started with the Shire. Inspiration, difficult, right? Like, we're all huge Lord of the Rings fans. I've been a Tolkien fan since I was 6 or 7, I think, when I watched Peter Jackson's films for the first time. Then later read the books and fell in love with the world. And really just the two things kind of combined. I discovered Minecraft, 2010, 2011, around when it came out, and it didn't take long to kind of put 2 and 2 together and think, wouldn't it be really cool if you could explore this world, in this game? And two things kind of combined, and it led to the creation of this project after a few years, and it's history from then on, really.
Yeah, absolutely. What made you want to bring it to this medium in particular, right? Because there are other games through which we see Middle Earth, but what was it about Minecraft in particular that you were like, oh yeah, this needs Middle Earth?
Well, I think with Minecraft, the great thing about it is the learning curve is really shallow, right? So it's not hard to learn how to join the game. Left click to destroy, right click to place. Right. In many other games, when you're coding for a game, it requires a pretty advanced skill set. It requires years of training to get to that point. Whereas it's not too hard to come on here to learn how to build and to help out. So it really becomes a community project. And so that aspect of it, I think, is really valuable. And the other thing is, it enables a scale which I think you don't see in many other games. You can really go big this game, and that's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you started this project, right? When you started to build, what was your first? Was Bag End your first build?
It was, yeah. We started with actually we started with Bywater, weirdly enough, but very nearby here. And then moved on to Hobbiton and Bag End and so on, and did the whole Shire, and moved on from there. But ironically, actually, the Shire that you see now is a complete redo. As time goes on, our standards advance, the way that we build changes, and this has been completely redone. So none of the sort of 2014, 2015 era stuff really remains.
Wow.
We've
That's impressive. And I mean, I'm seeing Bagshot Row here and everything like that. Great job. My goodness.
You were mentioning earlier about Bywater being kind of close by. I think there's a great opportunity for you to talk a little bit about the scale. Exactly how big is?
Yeah. So there's I don't know. There's an image I linked earlier which shows how big this project is compared to some other stuff. I don't know if you can bring that up, but it is a 1:58 scale. So Middle Earth, 1:1 size of Europe, obviously not possible. We scaled it down, but we scaled it down to a small 2,500 square kilometers. It's like the size of like Rhode Island, I think, or like Dorset in England. It's very big. It's like much bigger than a standard AAA game is. And the reasoning for that was really that there are some areas of Middle Earth, like the Shire, that are quite small and compact, and you need to be able to represent those properly, but you also need to be able to do everything else. So it requires a big map, and that's the scale that we chose. So yes, at 1:58.
Wow.
It would take you hours to walk across this. I mean, real like 10, 12 hours to get from here to like Mordor when it's up.
Yeah, so I threw the comparison up on the screen. Sorry, that took me a little bit there, but should be up there now. So what are these other maps we're looking at in comparison?
So you're looking at the little maps on the right hand side there. The top left one is Skyrim. The one on the right there is Breath of the Wild, and the sort of maps laid along the bottom there are Witcher 3. And then obviously our Middle Earth map is the one to the left of them. So it's big. It's big.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's still under construction, correct?
Yeah, so still being built. The terrain is being made, but big chunks of this map are already up, and big chunks of the builds have already been made. So we've made really good progress. But it is, it's a constant marathon. Put it that way. There's a lot to do.
Matt, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Nerd of the Rings is in the chat, everyone. Thanks so much for being here and for the donation, man. Yeah, it's quite a scale. Was that an intimidating prospect when you set out, or did you think about it more in increments? How did you kind of approach that?
So we started out with the Shire because it was manageable. It was, it's bite-sized. It's about breaking down a big task into small bits, right? And the Shire was like a nice thing to start with, not too big, feasible to do with a small team of people, all the rest.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of move on from there, and it is really about taking one step at a time. It's you don't kind of look at the whole thing and think, oh god, I have to do this all at once. It's
Absolutely.
It's one build at a time, one house at a time, and and you move forward and you make progress. So kind of how I see it. And it's a very cliche thing to say, but it really is about about the journey. It's about getting there and building it and doing it with a community.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. So how big is your community of builders?
So it varies over the years, but we've had anywhere between, I would say, 20 to 25 active people at any one time. Over time, obviously people come and go, and life takes over or whatever. But it's been around that for the whole time, more or less.
Man, this is absolutely incredible. Should we should we go ahead and start our journey going to, let's see, where did you guys want us to go next?
Well, I mean, it's up to you.
Yeah.
So we started in the Shire. What we can do is maybe just fly over to Bywater just to get a feeling for the scale of the map.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
just the fact that we're not lying when we say it's all here.
Oh, I gotta come back. I'm a needle hole. I'm coming back.
He's already proven it, right?
Yeah.
He's already shown that it can be done.
I'm not streaming, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. You've proven it to yourself, right?
Yeah.
So this is Bywater. You're landing now in the sort of Green Dragon area. So this is Green Dragon right here.
Oh, that's wonderful.
We mentioned earlier pre-stream that there are some differences with the films, and this is one of them. The Green Dragon in the films is in Hobbiton, the sort of part of it. But of course, in the books, it was separate. It was in Bywater.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't. I think it wasn't outside of walking distance, but like you guys have it here, it's like it's a bit of a journey, right? It's not going to be just right down the road, but it's going to be
exactly.
Going to be a little bit. Yeah, that's awesome.
And this is actually, I don't know if you immediately recognize it, but this little lane here is actually the site of the final battle in the War of the Ring, the Battle of Bywater.
Of course.
In this lane. Right
That's sweet, man.
Yeah,
wow.
Little details like that. I mean, we'll go through and we'll see more of these, but yeah, this is it.
So the men from the south that were all rallied, I imagine they came up this way, and the hobbits. Yep, the hobbits came from Bywater here after they.
And ambushed them on either side. And, high hedges on either side. Yeah.
Good job. Well done. Well done.
So we have a question in the chat that I also Johnny is asking, how does one join the build community?
Arjun, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. So something that might be in the description, but I'm not sure. We have a Discord server where basically we do most of our communication. In there, that we have an application process that people can read through and see other people's examples. But basically, it just goes through a short little process to get everybody introduced, used to all the blocks, because we are playing modded Minecraft. So there's going to be stuff people aren't used to, but it's we try to be as helpful as we can, and we appreciate anybody trying to join. We need all the help we can get. It's an infinitely large project, you could say. So,
I thought I'd bring us to our next location here, which is a location in the Shire which we hear about in the books. I don't think we ever hear about it in the films, but it is in fact the sort of de facto capital of the Shire, and this is Middle Delving.
Yeah.
So on the White Downs. This is it. So the largest settlement in the Shire. See, quite a lot larger than the two places we've just been.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where the mayor lived.
Good job. I'm going to be saying that a lot throughout the stream.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in awe looking at the downs here. This is so beautiful. Wow.
It is. This is immaculate. So, right, you set out to build just one building, right? Like, just one of these, right, that maybe people won't go in. But how long would that take?
Just one building? Guys, what do you think?
Yeah.
How long is a piece of string?
Maybe an experienced builder could do it in like a day, but we always had apprentices finishing them in about 3 to 5 days.
Obviously not 3 to 5 days of straight work. It's like
3
to 5 days of you log on for an hour or so and
Yeah. My goodness, good job. Like, it's gonna be those little details right throughout Arda that kind of. I mean, the scale and scope of the cities and of the works. It's quite incredible. Quite incredible.
Yeah, I mean, something worth mentioning, all these houses here all have interiors, and not only do they all have interiors, but we've worked out all of the professions that people would have. It's all with research into medieval economies and stuff. So there's a lot.
That's awesome.
The plants you see on the hillside have been researched to match the rock type underneath them to make sure that because it's chalked down, so certain kinds of plants grow.
Yeah.
That's the level we're talking about here.
Wow.
It's everything.
But these small details, they make the difference, I think. So
yeah,
hats off.
Absolutely.
This place is chock full of details. The Madam House.
This is a fun little location.
Yeah, this is absolutely. It's a place that's mentioned in the books. A place where the hobbits keep their things they don't need, and it becomes like a museum.
Yep, all the gifts to one another, and that's amazing.
Were you the one building this place?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we come through here. So there's like little artifacts of stuff, from.
Oh, incredible!
Various
Yeah.
dimensions and so on.
Like,
Jim
I
Parker.
think there was like just one brief sentence about one of the Tukes having a wheelchair, so we have her wheelchair in here.
Oh,
somewhere.
that's awesome.
Yeah, this is like a law nerd's paradise. This place. It's
Yeah.
great.
Here we go. Yeah.
Oh, here in the
Edict of
Took
Norbert.
area.
Oh, that's sweet. Granting.
Bandavoris for Tuke saddle.
So this is what granted the hobbits the realm of the Shire from the kings of Arthedain.
Yep.
It's wonderful. Armory. Oh, wow. Curiosities.
Yeah, so you see how exploring our builds can take hours of your time, like just.
Oh yeah.
You can get lost in the detail and the complexity, and this is just one of obviously many examples.
Golfinbull's head. Look at that.
Yeah, great, isn't it?
Yeah, that's incredible. Incredible. Well, and I'm sure here, right? So it's like chalk from the White Downs. So if we went over to the White Downs, I'm already sure, right? You guys have that same exact chalk all over the
Oh, yeah.
place. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
There it is from the Battle of Fornost. Elven
Go to
Banner.
Fornost as well.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can go to Fornost if you'd like. There's not much
would
left.
love to go to Fornost at some point.
After the Witch King
Yeah.
is finished with it, yeah.
I'm also a large fan of Illuminus. I'd love to. I was over there a little bit earlier.
Oh yeah.
Just take a peek.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Numenus
Numenus
is one of my favorite areas in the Legendarium.
Yeah, it's in a better shape than Fornost, because the Witch King,
Yeah,
Witch King had his way with Fornost in a way that he didn't with Illuminus, but yeah, you can see
absolutely.
both.
I wanted to see what these are really fast. That's incredible.
Oh, those are chimneys for the mayor's house.
Holy crap. Wow. All right, cool. Yeah, let's move on. So really fast too, just so we kind of know the parameters. Are you guys going like chronological order through the books? Are you going right? How are you deciding what to build next? What's left to build? That sort of thing.
So we're kind of going vaguely chronological. You know, we started with the Shire, but then weirdly enough, we veered off into Lindon.
Oh, okay.
And then did like the Blue Mountains dwarven stuff. But then we were doing Bree, and then we were doing the Ruins of Arnor, Rivendell, Lothlorien. We started following the Fellowship of the Ring. We did
Sure.
Rohan. We're now working in Gondor, so like kind of ish.
Yeah.
But in many ways, it's dictated by like what people are more interested in at the time versus. And there's also a lot of like groundwork that goes into preparing areas to be done. So, it's a process.
Absolutely.
What would you say is the number one priority that you guys are working on? You mentioned Gondor, but can you be a little bit more specific?
The two major priorities would be Gondor in particular, and Nori and Minas Tirith, and then Moria. That's
Moria.
it that we're doing right now. But I thought I'd teleport you guys here. I don't know if you want to hazard a guess at where we are in Middle Earth.
I mean, I have the map up. so
I
I'm
imagine
shooting.
Tom Bombadil's house, right? But
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
nailed it.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
incredible.
I thought we'd do some stuff that's only in the books.
Yeah.
Lynn here's got the perfect skin. He's
Mr.
appropriate.
Show them
Bombadil.
around your home, Lynn.
Hey do,
Yeah,
very
exactly.
do.
Yeah, we can head in.
Awesome. Oh my gosh. So how long did this interior take you guys, do you think? Oops.
Is it you who did it, Hearth? I can't remember now.
Oh no, but I think this was Eek and we probably maybe a week.
A week?
I
Wow.
mean, you
That's
say a week, but it like maybe more accurate to say like 4 or 5, 6 hours, something like that.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
Spread out. Yeah.
Oh no, if I calculated man hours that we spent on this project, I would cry. So maybe a week.
Oh my gosh. Do you guys, so when you're in here, right, do you have just memories of maybe conversations you were having at the time or what you were doing in life, like as you were building this stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's funny actually. It's like yeah. I mean, it's like anything in life, like a certain smell or a place you've been or whatever
Yeah.
brings things back, and it's weird how like a virtual place can do the same thing.
Yeah.
I
totally.
definitely find that with
I'm even afraid to like walk on the table. It's just so nice in here. Oh, so nice. Wow.
Right, shall we, let's go over to Bree. Bree is the first area that we're going to show that's actually a work in progress. We, much like the Shire, had an old version. Now it's being changed over, but you will, there's a good amount of it that's done. Harthia is one of the leads on it, so we'll talk you through a bit more.
Okay, so first thing first. Most controversial build in all of the Bree projects right here at the forefront. We dug up some secret Tolkien text where like Gandalf comes here and his horse is looking over the gate and he reaches over it and unlocks it. But you know, in the books it's called a Great Gate and Aragorn has to climb over it. So
that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, did Aragorn climb over the wall or the gate? But he climbed. Yeah, you're right. He climbed over the gate, and so, oh, that's hilarious! Holy crap!
Was that hours of heated argument over?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ironically, absolutely. Yeah.
It's amazing how like a single small gate generates such. But sometimes we get that with builds. You know, it's like everyone's very passionate and everyone has their own views on things. So yeah.
Yeah, Marion Baggins. This is definitely Arda right here.
Yes.
This is awesome.
Now, Bree is funny as well because you know it's 100 stone houses, but yet it's a village. So
Yeah.
we did upscale it a little bit. We wanted to have that feeling of being awestruck at how tall the buildings were that you know the hobbits would have had whenever they first got here. So
Of course.
we really wanted to be a dramatic different from the Shire. It was the component.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So that's an interesting question. Are we going to be seeing Middle Earth like from the perspective of a Hobbit almost? Is everything upscaled to a degree to where it's like, let's imagine.
That is actually a really good question.
Like, let's imagine we were 3/6, or.
I believe Minecraft automatically states this as 2 meters, right?
Yeah, so each player is 1.8 meters, and we kind of go off that as being like the truth. So like one block is 1 meter. So no, you are technically like a human height.
Okay.
But obviously with Hobbit builds, it's difficult because obviously there's a certain resolution that you can build at, and it's difficult to make things a lot smaller sometimes. So you kind of have. There's a little bit of suspension of disbelief there, but then also we do have a picture of Tolkien that he drew of Bilbo in Bag End, and Bilbo is like very small and like obviously in the movie, you know, we have Gandalf ducking under everything and his head off beams and things. But actually, it seems like Bag End was quite big. And whether that was because it was like kind of like a mansion for hobbits, I don't know, but it's interesting.
Well, I think it was right because Bilbo was part of the elite, you know, part of the elite class.
Was yeah.
Let's see. Drainage runs through to street on other side needed. Otherwise, the work in progress. We'd love to see it.
Jason, are you outside?
Yeah.
Do you guys want to talk a little bit about what's going on above loading here, like how this process works up here?
Yeah, so I can give a little bit of insight on that. So we've got marked out each plot, and these plots are in fact numbered. We actually have a few different project blocks that we put here. So we have one that designates where comments would go, one where your name block is. And then you'll see a few of them say waiting approval or not approved or update needed. And it kind of helps us keep track of who's doing what. And as these plots are completed, we knock stuff out of the sky. It feels great to be able to destroy these blocks. I can't wait to see them all out of the way. But there's a lot of organization to it. And even down on the ground, if you look, like you can kind of see a completed field versus an area where the fields are not complete. And, you know, it can be pretty jarring for a new player to step into this, which is why, you know, we really spend a lot of time, you know, developing people as apprentices before we promote them fully to builder, because it can be a lot. But ultimately, it helps keep these projects going. I'm glad we've implemented it.
So these like floating, in addition to the plots that you have here, like the buildings, are these essentially just like a proof of concept or a test run before you move it down?
That's correct. We try to limit the amount of floating buildings we have above a town because it does cast shadows on the ground.
Yes.
But we actually have a free build where we do more test concepts than we do on the live map. this one just kind of got, posted up in the air. So that way, I'm thinking about moving this, but I don't know where to move it to yet. Let me just keep it to the side. And we've got a few of that like tests for the entrances to Hobbit holes up here, and this is actually one part of Bree that the movies I don't think emphasize enough. There were plenty of hobbits living around Bree, and living above the roofs of the men. So we've had a lot of fun getting that set up and planned.
All right, let's do a bit of a deep dive into the lore a little bit. Let's. Do you guys have a staddle that you've created?
Battle was nuked. Yeah, it's not there.
Oh no!
We had an attempt a while ago, and then we were like, "Nah, I don't like it. It's like a bomb site. It's not good."
You just like TNT
what about
it?
Archit? You got Archit?
Yeah.
More or less. Archit's very old, and we want to. It needs to be redone. So
Okay.
we have Hume, kind of.
Keep the camera away. I was just curious because the Latro fans out there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very popular starting area.
Yeah, we'll get you over to Hume. Again, work in progress, but you can have a look.
Totally. That's hilarious. Poor Staddle.
Yeah. No, it'll make a glorious return at some point.
Wow. So what do you guys think, right? Like with Minecraft's like preloaded terrain, I'm sure you guys had like seeds and stuff that you put into the world to get it all at least closer to what you would need, but
is this technically just a standard Minecraft world outside the bounds of the map, or are you guys on super flat? What's the situation?
So you get to the edge of the map and it's just there's nothing there, it's void.
Okay.
The map itself is entirely custom created in a third-party program. It's completely cut. Like there's no like vanilla original Minecraft stuff here at all. It's there's a lot of work that goes on like behind the scenes to get to this point. And I can maybe show you a little later, but we have the full height map, and it's it's how to put it. It's realistic enough that you can follow any stream on this map, and it will take you to the sea. Like that's a guarantee. It will join up with rivers, like you would find in the real world.
That's amazing.
So yeah, there's a lot of thought and preparation that goes.
Well done, gentlemen. That's insane.
Should we?
Awesome.
I was just thinking for the next one, we could probably head over to Weathertop quickly. Just to get a quick view.
Your boy wants to see the Lone Lands.
The Lone Lands. Welcome to everyone who's joining. Thanks so much for being here. Comic Nut 64. Thanks so much for the donation, and everyone else who's been donating. It means a lot, and it's going to help some people out there. Nice.
Yeah. So significantly, again, changes from book to film. In the book, Weathertop is described as looking like a crown on the old hill's head, and that was the reference we went with. It's very much, it's the base of a tower that used to exist, but it no longer exists, and that's basically all we get. Obviously, in the film, it's a lot more developed, and I've seen some other interpretations where it's like this huge, enormous ruin, but I don't think that's what Tolkien had in mind.
Yeah, no, that's this is perfect, right? So when we imagine the wars between Rhudaur and Cardolan during the Angmar War, where this was kind of on the edge of the border, right, between Cardolan and Rhudaur, I definitely imagine the Battle of Aman-Sul. I can see it. The armies on either side, the Great East Road here. Wow. Incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a whole, in fact, if you follow these hills north, there's a whole series of ruined castles built by Arthedain going all the way north. So it's that thing that we really try to reward players who explore just beyond the major locations. It's like you can wander off and you will find stuff. And that's really the important thing to us. That it's not just like zones, it's everything.
The feeling of like a bigger world for sure.
Yeah.
There's also a hidden cave system underneath the hills that stretches throughout most of it.
Was that for you guys, or is that for just like an Easter egg?
No, just for anyone really who ends up stumbling upon it.
Yeah, you might follow a stream up and just find that it comes from a cave, and you go into the cave, and there's like a whole cave system someone's built. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
Cool. Let's see Fornost if that's okay.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
What's left of it anyway?
Yeah, what's left of it?
There's not much, but you know.
If that's book
I led
accurate,
this.
we love
Don't
it.
ask me too much about it because there's not much about it.
Yeah. See if you can tell where Fornost was.
Oh,
Challenge.
awesome.
So flying up this way, it's better to see from the air. You can really, like, you start to notice these features
Yeah.
as you fly up towards it.
Fragments and such.
Exactly. Yeah.
Whoa.
There's some little bits poking out of the grass here, but
Well, I noticed the
Stop.
flowers. The flowers are different. I can't remember if in the book there was a particular flower that grew on like Dead Man's Dyke, but
yeah.
that's,
Yeah, this is just like fields of heather.
yeah.
Over sort of like tradition, I call them.
Oh.
Yeah, bits like this, you know, like hints of something being here, but it's been 1,000 years and
Yeah.
the witch king raised it to the ground, so you can see there was a castle up
Past.
You were asking how long did this stuff take? This 2 hours.
there. Yeah. Why Middle Earth's so good to build? There's so much ruin, there's so many ruins
Yeah,
that don't take as much time as doing full builds.
I could
And
see
you
it.
just like to, you just kind of toss them in wherever you met obviously the large rooms, but you were just mentioning by what the time that you just kind of tossed in smaller rooms, especially in or and such like that. Just really
Yeah, just points of interest, you know, like if a player's exploring through the world, it's nice to find like an old castle or an old house or something, and you wonder like about the history of it and the lore, and it just makes exploring the world rewarding, you know. Yeah, this is not in a good state. As I said, Illuminas is in a better way, but
Yeah.
not much.
Let's take a look. Let's take a look. I'm excited.
There you go. So this was the southern gate into Illuminas at one time. And again, if you really flying up really helps with the honoring builds, but you can see here
Yes.
the outlines of the old houses and the streets are more evident here.
Wow.
Because this place just sort of slowly decayed. It
Yeah.
didn't really ever get
Raised.
properly destroyed.
How close are we to Lake Nanuiel?
You'll see it in a moment.
Oh, cool.
Basically, we are right next to it. Yeah, this would have been an old canal going through this.
Yeah. Dang.
Right. Little piers jutting out into the lake.
Yep.
My goodness. So where did you guys take your inspiration from? Like solely the book, or did you see other interpretations like artwork and other games to build these sorts of things?
So with Middle Earth and with our temptations, we actually, I would say, we draw more from history than anything else. And Illuminas in particular, you will get a feeling, especially if you get towards the palace area, very Roman inspired with some Babylon stuff as well. We really like to look at periods of history and kind of relate them or match them to areas in Middle Earth. So Rohan, lots of like Anglo-Saxon and Norse inspiration there. Gondor, lots of Byzantine, the older stuff, Numenorean, more Egyptian, Minoan, Crete, that kind of thing. It's a really good source of inspiration, and it gives you a lot of things to draw from rather than just going like, which of these fantasy artists do we prefer, sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the palace here, someone was actually building the Basilica of Maxentius on free build, and I said, "Hey, can I borrow that? Thanks." And then I just pasted it here.
That's awesome. Wow. Yeah, I had to ask because this reminds me a bit of the Ted Nasmith version of Illuminas, which shout out to all those artists that are in the descriptions of most of my videos. Like they create things where I could see them being translated into this, and vice versa. So quite incredible.
Yeah, so this would have been the old throne room of the Kings of Arnor, and then the structure up on the hill here, or on the tiered things, is the palace complex would have been built by Elendil.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, let's do another deep dive. If you guys don't have it, it's totally fine. I'm just curious, like, at the scale of everything, and then we'll go to Rivendell after. But the Elosterion Tower of the White Towers.
Yeah, we've got Elosterion. A little bit old, but we've got it.
Sure. Let's take a look. This is very impressive. Very impressive.
Yes.
I'm gonna run up, see if I can find the Palantir.
Oh yeah, it's at the top there. It'll take you a while, but
yeah. Good job, man. Oh my gosh, good job, guys. Makes this Tolkien nerd very happy.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It is just, it's great to be able to, walk around in the world and I guess it's probably us and Lord of the Rings Online who are the two biggest recreations of this world.
Yep.
I suppose the advantage we have over them is that if you look down on our map from above, it is genuinely all of it. It's all of the coasts, it's all of the mountains, it's all of the rivers, it's everything.
Yeah.
I guess Lord of the Rings Online is more like zones.
It is.
As you go through, but this is genuinely everything in Middle Earth, and so that's quite cool.
There it is.
Found it. Don't touch it, but
yeah, all right. So where I'm standing next to, I don't know if anyone's actually near me, but I'm curious. Am I standing at the western?
Which window?
Yeah, western window.
Let's see where you are. Yes, you are.
Wow! Dang, you guys. Wow. I'm just looking for, again, just the little tiny details, because, he'd use the Elosterion stone to try to look to Numenor, to Tol Eressëa, and all of that. So, oh my gosh. So, I guess any plans there? Are you guys going to build Numenor? Are you going to build Valinor?
It's a big one. When we thought about this in the past, I would actually, I think if we were to finish the Third Age of Middle Earth, I would like to go back and do Beleriand. That would be my choice, because Beleriand, we have a lot of descriptions and a lot of locations that we kind of know about. Numenor and Valinor, certainly cool, but definitely lighter on the description.
Yeah, absolutely. It would offer more creative freedom as well, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It's nice to be able to go this is what Tolkien thought about this place, and then building.
Cool. All right. I'm so impressed.
I was going to say we'll stick with the Elven theme and go to Rivendell.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, that's a great choice.
And just because we're teleporting around everywhere doesn't mean that these are just separate builds. Like Horn said, there's a whole map connecting them, so if you want to see the boards of the Ruinen, you absolutely can.
And see Bilbo's trolls, they're out there.
Yes.
Oh,
So to get from where we just were at Elosterion to here would take probably 2 hours.
Just walking.
Just flying?
Or just walking on the ground, yeah.
Okay.
2 hours.
Wow.
The last homely house east of the sea. Wow.
The cliff work here is excellent. Oh, this is great.
Yeah, so the cliffwork here was heavily inspired by Lauterbrunnen in Switzerland, which is the valley that inspired Rivendell. Went to there. Yeah, he was 19 years old, came to the Swiss Alps, and there's this incredible valley in the Swiss Alps that came to mind when he was writing The Hobbit. That's what brought Rivendell to life.
Wow. Hall of Fire. The stories. Wow. Let's see.
Yeah, so something again changes from movie to film, because I think or movie to film, movie to book. Rivendell in the film is obviously a sort of a complex of houses, you could say.
Yeah.
But in the descriptions that we have and in the drawings that we have by Tolkien, it's always just this one mansion house in the middle of the valley, and that's what we went with.
Oh, that's incredible.
I'm at Bilbo's room if you'd like to.
Oh yeah, Bilbo's room is always a good visit. Down the corridor on the right there.
Oh my gosh, you have Ted Nasmith's painting in here.
Yeah, well, it's because Bilbo wrote the Song of Arendil, right? So it's
Totally.
like, you know, it's
Oh.
inspired it.
Well, my friends who are watching, again, thanks for joining. If you've been with us the whole time or are just joining now, but I'm sure a lot of you guys will recognize this painting from past videos and everything. So shout out to you guys and Ted Nasmith. That's awesome.
And if you turn right here, admire this teapot. It took us 8 years to get it.
Yeah, the teapot on the table. Yeah,
Very good. I'm very admired.
Yeah. We imagine Bilbo is basically like an old English guy, right? So he probably liked his tea. Wow. We can head down here. There's like the little Rivendell museum, we could say. Places where they keep all the works of art and artifacts and things. Not Narsil, because of course Aragorn carried that with him.
Yep.
But many other things kept here.
Oh, there's Turin. Very good.
Indeed. Yeah.
Yeah, you should recognize quite a few other
my
pieces of art in here.
I think that's Eyegloss on the.
Eyegloss.
Oh,
Yeah, Ryan, it's gonna be your go-to. Oh
Greatest.
my gosh. Hurin.
Victim of the Rings of Power.
Yeah.
Close.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. Wow. Gondolin, so much.
It's cool. I do love these places where it's like all these references to all this ancient stuff. It's great. If you come down this way, just back the corridor you came through, we'll go to the other sort of main. Well, we can go around the outside as well. Actually, if you come around here, we'll go to the other sort of location that people are most likely to recognize.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say you guys are. This is one of the most faithful adaptations of Middle Earth that I've ever seen. So, kudos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up here.
Yes.
Yeah, the movie version was just too good.
Yeah.
I did like that. I think that was a good choice. Those.
Well, it's good, right? Because it's like you can see, you can see where the sun is. So when Bilbo is like complaining about wanting lunch and everything like that, he knows exactly. He's like, hey.
Exactly. Yeah.
You just stomach.
Yeah.
It's a nice place to have a council, right? It's a nice place to sit and chat about the.
Yeah.
world.
I had to pick a spot. Decent.
Yeah.
It's up there.
All right, let's see here. So we're gonna continue to make our way through, probably like continue along the path of the Fellowship generally. Let's see here. I want to. What have you guys done in terms of Regien and the places where the rings were forged?
We do have Ostenethil.
Yes.
Again, not in such a good state these days.
Okay.
Is it just an old build or?
No, as in Sauron was not very kind.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So we can head over there. Do you want to walk those guys over there? Or Arjun?
I got it.
Yeah, we weren't sure if it was nuked like Staddle.
No. Wait, no, it was nuked by someone, but not by us.
Yeah, Sauron nuked Staddle. That's what I'll blame.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was in the appendices, guys. You just didn't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goodness, that's awesome. So, in your original vision, right? How big was Austin and Ethel?
Pretty substantial. I mean, we've got this. It's between the two rivers there.
Yep.
So you've got that whole area that would have been walled, and then possibly there would have been farms and small houses and stuff. I mean, something that I go on and on about in general in adaptations or the lack thereof is farms. I get very angry. It's not just it's Peter Jackson adaptations. It's Rings of Power. It's lots and lots of adaptations just don't show farms, and it's like, come on, like
Yeah,
this
true.
This is what 90% of people were doing like farming throughout this whole sort of period of time, and
Very true.
we need to have, and we'll see when we go to Edoras and we go to Minas Tirith, and we're doing these farms because this is what these places would have looked like. And Tolkien knew that, and Tolkien described that, but
Yeah,
lost in many.
absolutely. Real quick here, I'm going to address chat. Like, we're still donating to the International Rescue Committee, so if you guys feel like donating, again, any amount really helps people across the world. So if you guys do feel like donating here as we approach the holidays, please feel free to do that. Trying to raise just as much as we can to help people. So thanks so much. All right, let's. Oh my gosh.
I think it won't take a genius to guess where we're going next.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, you knew what I was about to ask. So.
Welcome to Moria. There it is, the gate appearing.
There it is.
Ah.
Melon.
There it is opening. So it's a cool little effect we've got here, and the doors sort of in the book slowly were grinding open. Years of neglect. Haven't got the Watcher in.
No custom mob for the Watcher?
I don't think. Not yet. Not yet. Give us time.
So yeah, that's something I'm wondering as well, as our fellowship here continues to explore. Like, what time period, what month, what day would you say that ArdaCraft is built in? Are we exploring these places as the fellowship did, like in terms of a timeline, or would you guys say, because Narsil wasn't at Rivendell? Since you said Aragorn was carrying it, like what?
The gates are about to shut, so you better run in.
Oh crap!
Yes, I can give you an exact date. Early September 3006, Third Age. So 5 years after Bilbo's birthday party, but a full 12 years before the Fellowship of the Ring. Again, another thing that's missed in the film is that enormous time gap between
True.
Bilbo leaving and Frodo leaving. But yes, we're set in that sort of interim period. So.
Yeah.
The War of the Ring is kind of gearing up. Things are beginning to happen, but the events of Fellowship of the Ring mostly have not yet.
Okay, so what made you choose September 3006?
So 3006 was a bit of a random date. It was kind of just like, we need some date in between. But September in particular, early September, just a nice time of year, to represent. The harvest is coming in the north. Already happened down in Gondor. It's end of summer kind of time, so some nice colors in parts of the world. It's funny choosing a season. It's like there's no one perfect season to represent everything. Each one has its own pros and cons, right? But the September was just a nice month to pick, and of course the month in which both Bilbo and Frodo celebrate their birthday, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
Arden, we're trying to give you a torch. You keep running away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If you can just type /torch, you should be able to get one.
Perfect.
And that will help everybody see what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me see.
I'm not sure what quite happened. I got deep to a certain point that everything loaded terrain, and now everything's brighter. I'm not sure if that's something.
Yeah, so Moria is actually set up on a separate world. Because it's so big. We'll go through how big Moria is, but it's so enormous that it has to be kind of like other games where you would go into somewhere and there's a little loading screen and then you go to it. It's set up like that because we couldn't possibly fit it onto the mountains that we have.
That's totally fair.
For Moria, earlier you mentioned that it's still a work in progress, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Do you guys have a layout plan hidden somewhere?
We do, yeah, we do. We can show you that. It's
just the absolute maze, because I've just been in here for 5 minutes. I'm already lost. So.
Yeah, well, so the design brief, the guys leading Moria when they started this, so we're in what's called the west end of Moria, where the Fellowship first reached. And when they started building this area, I said to them, look, make sure that people get lost in here. That's what I want. I want people to go in here and just get hopelessly lost in this maze of corridors and mine tunnels and so on. And they've achieved that. We've had multiple guests come in and just get hopelessly, tangled, and it's great going in circles and all this stuff. So,
this weird circular room with a wide ramp on the outside. I'm so lost.
Yep.
Yeah, I would definitely say, in terms of scope and scale, you guys are probably the closest adaptation to Tolkien that's out there that I've seen. Yeah. No, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying that's probably absolutely true. I'd also just highly recommend, it might be better for us to slow down and look around here a little bit and teleport further into Moria rather than trying to make the
The traverse,
journey.
yeah. It's
that's
very
fair.
but it's not even
fastly
worth.
running through everything.
I guess I was trying to see just the scope really because it's like a 3-day journey across, right? So
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
huge.
And y'all were going the wrong way, so.
You made the first mistake of going straight here when you should have gone left. So that's the rookie error. But
yeah, there it is.
No.
Good that Gandalf had been through before, and Aragorn in fact, had both been through before. Nice spot. You'll see here as we go along, like this is something that Tolkien described, especially in the West End, is that the ground was cracked and there was rubble and there was the place had been clearly neglected very, very badly.
Yeah.
This is like a mine shaft leading down into mines down here in the West End.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's a whole area of mine tunnels for you to get lost in as
Wow.
well. So, yeah.
So how often how many hours per week would you say goes into this from every member on average?
Gosh. What, per member? It's hard to say really. On average, maybe I would have thought 4 or 5.
Wow.
I don't know. It very, very variable though. Like some people, we have this one guy working in Moria, and I'd like to show you the caves that he's doing here because they are incredible, and they are also, you sort of have some worries for his mental health when you look at them because they're so enormous. So yeah, like some people have an incredible stamina and ability to just grind out huge areas. Other people less so, but it's great to have that variety but also just variety of talents and knowledge and people coming from different backgrounds. I mean, we've had, we have a guy, a professional botanist, who is currently making a full botany map of Middle Earth for us, so that we know where all the tree species and plant species need to go. And yeah, it's
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's it's intense.
By the way, there's some hidden halls that are like collapsed, and you can't get to them unless you go through cracks or swim through the.
How many? I don't know. You may have mentioned this earlier, and I forgot. But how many people do you have active on your team?
Right now, something like 25, I think. Okay. If I had to guess, I wouldn't. I haven't counted it. Yeah, it's like how do you define someone as active and all?
Sure.
But yeah. If we just jump to another area in Moria quickly, just to get a feeling for, because otherwise, I mean, I'm already lost. To be honest. So,
sounds good. Maybe the Chamber of Mazarbul or the 21st Hall or something like that.
Or one of those caves you mentioned.
Yeah, or one of those caves.
I was gonna say, yeah, maybe the caves. Yeah, let's get you to the cave.
I want to see the cave.
18th Hall. I can take you down over.
We're down at the docks now.
You're down at the docks.
We'll work our way up.
Underground docks are a thing. The dwarves would have needed to transport ore and coal and so on through Moria, and transporting by water is still a good option. So they built an entire underground canal to transport things from the west end to the east end of Moria.
Dude, I'm so tired looking at this. Like, this is crazy. I can't imagine. This is incredible.
Yeah, and then if you follow me through here, so if you just go through here, so this is a hall or a corridor which they sort of dug into the side of a natural cave, and you'll see here. Yeah, this is a full like natural cavern with stalactites.
And so this guy like specializes, I imagine, in cave craft and
he's just very good at it. Like, it's incredible. Like,
it is.
Yeah, and you can like that goes up into an actual cave, and you can follow the water down, and it goes into a stream, which then flows through. And
yeah, you can follow these streams for tens of minutes and end up in different halls all around. It's quite a thing.
Wow.
And all the water drainage is of course worked out. But this water will all drain down eventually down into the nameless things. Caverns underneath. So and that's yet to be done, but will be a very cool build. And eventually, you'll get down to nameless things caverns, and then find the endless stair and get your way to the top of Durin's Tower, and that will all be accessible.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
We've tested the endless stair. It truly does feel endless.
yeah.
Good.
I look forward to people doing the whole thing. I really do. I won't be, but
It does take about, I've timed it takes 18 minutes to climb the whole thing.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't realize you'd already done it half. That's funny.
Yeah.
Let's just quickly go to Mazobul, which is like just a very like a basic test at the moment, but like something that people will recognize, right?
Sounds good.
Go over there.
Wow.
Cool. So completely different part of Moria now. Fellowship reached. You can see here. This is our map is set after Balin's expedition failed. And so we've got his tomb set up here with the inscription on it.
So let me ask you guys too. So with music, have you considered are you considering getting any specialized music for ArdaCraft for these things? Because like that's definitely, especially in Middle Earth, right, part of the experience. What are your guys' thoughts? Like, what music do you even listen to when you're building things, and what do you wish could be in here?
We actually have an OST.
Oh, that's awesome.
Really?
Yeah, a guy, this is only a relatively recent thing, a composer came to us a few months ago and was like, I really love your server, I want to compose music for it. If you guys go to our YouTube channel, we have ArdaCraft OST Volume 1, different soundtracks for different regions of the map. We've yet to implement that into the map itself.
Sure.
So like, you walk around and it actually sort of, dynamically updates. That is the plan in the long term, but we do already have music written. So yeah,
that's incredible.
It's really cool. It's really cool to be able to say like we've got music. But yeah.
Wow. And even the writing down to a T. So how did you get something like this on here?
That is done. So that's actually built. Each of those. That's actually built at an enormous scale. So each of those pixels is a full block, and then you make a map, and then you place the map onto an item frame, and it shows up like that, and it works pretty well. Have all that.
That makes sense. That's super cool. Yeah.
Stuff, yeah.
Sorry, my dog.
Okay.
My dog sometimes might go off in the background. I'll try to.
No worries. Let's run down the stairs.
Cool.
Let's get to the second hall. Very much, as you can see, this is all to be done.
Yeah.
So this is the scene in the book, this is the scene in the film where they do the whole, Legolas shoots that goblin between the eyes. And,
with the staircase is like falling apart.
Yeah, all that. So Peter Jackson took a description of a very definitely enclosed staircase from the book and then turned it into this whole scene, which cinematically, of course, makes sense. In the book, it's a pretty short time that they go down here.
But yours does make more sense in the in the theme of Tolkien, right? Because Balrog might, ask Matt from Nerd of the Rings. He'll go off about it, but Balrog might or might not have wings. But if they have wings, he could definitely fly down the stairs. But here, just like how it is in the book, where it's very enclosed, Gandalf is like they're running from the Balrog and they're running down those stairs.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then there it is.
This will be the second hall. So here we've got the Bridge of Khazad-dûm.
Love it.
Enormous, if you look down, the enormous drop.
Oh, it's still loading now.
Which is it's incredible. Yeah, so that's like 700 blocks deep.
I was going to say, here, give me a send-off. Give me a send-off for Nod.
Okay, right. Cannot pass.
Boom.
I can't. I won't do you in the calendar.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah,
I can hear the music as I fall.
The drop. So eventually down there we will have like a full cavern system and a full like way to then reach back up to the end of the stair and all this. So
Hello.
you can do the full Gandalf experience. His 10-day. I always like to remind people of that. He fought the Balrog for 10 days.
10 days.
Yeah.
Up the stairs.
Yeah, if you look at the scheme, it's wild. Like they must have been taking water breaks or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like they were going at it for like a long time. He fought on the peak. They were up there for three of those days on the peak. So yeah, it's pretty superhuman stuff.
Awesome. Let's see, another deeper lore question. Let's see Durin's stone at Lake Miromir.
Oh, that unfortunately not done.
No problem.
It's fine. So we're working through Moria from sort of west to east.
Gotcha.
So this is the kind of eastern unfinished bit, and then we've yet to do the kind of gate.
Sure.
will be there. What I was going to do next actually is take us to the Falls of Nimrodel in Lorien and sort of change up the scenery a little bit.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's do it. What do you guys think in the comments and everything? I mean, I'm just so impressed, so blown away. Real fast, yeah, shout out to the charity that we're raising some money for, International Rescue Committee. The money goes to helping people who need food, shelter, all of these things around the world. So give what you can. Really means a lot to me. Try to do these once a year. And just trying to raise as much as we can to help people. So thanks so much. Oh, my gosh.
Frolicking in the...
I'm trying to figure out why I couldn't.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
So this the Fellowship cross the stream here, and Legolas sings a song about Nimrodel, and obviously the elves hear him and decide not to shoot him as a result.
Oh, of course. And did they stay in this flat here?
They did, yes, they did. So you can go
awesome.
up and go up to the flat that they follow the ladder up and get into the flat that the Fellowship stayed at overnight.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
This is just a real small, guard post at the edge of the forest. Very much not the center of Elvendom that we'll get to in a moment. We have a series of these guard posts all around. So of course the elves of Lorien were very protective.
Yeah. The Malorn tree. So I assume you guys built every tree by hand. Is that?
Well, yes and no. So all of the trees you see here, they were built by hand, but they're not all unique. Put it that way. Right?
Gotcha.
So,
sure.
There are copies, but it's done in such a way that you can't really tell.
Yeah, you can't tell.
Did you place them by hand too?
No, so those are placed in a third-party program on a wide scale. Because
I imagine
this is several kilometers across. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, no, it's crazy to think about that we had to build most of we built all of our trees by hand initially in a grid. So, for example, the Malorns here, we had 20 of the large trees, 10 of the medium trees, 10 of the thin, 10 of the small.
Wow.
Yeah.
Here we go. So this is, I don't know. You can guess where we are.
Kirin Amroth.
Absolutely.
Where Aragorn and Arwen were engaged. And you guys built this so perfectly to a T that I immediately knew right away.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, this is place.
Let's see, which way is west? I assume the sun is setting, right? So
this is dawn, so yeah, west is the other direction. Yeah.
Because I want to say that they stood here and they looked to the west. They looked to the shadow of the east. Ah, that's awesome.
Very nice build. Very simple in a way, but just.
But the meaning of it is absolutely
yeah.
incredible.
Turn south.
Yeah.
It's not far to get to Carascalathon, where we'll be going next.
Yeah, let's do it.
We can go there by foot actually. If I'll teleport you guys down to the path and we'll just walk over. So we'll just walk down. So this is you can just kind of wander through the forest here, and the elves took them. So obviously when Haldir met them in the forest, they took them down here. I think their blindfolds were off by this point.
Yeah. Wow.
The whole forest is here. Which is nice. It's a nice place to walk through.
Yeah.
There it is.
It's Carascalathon. So if we follow it around, probably fly from this point because it's a little way, but they described in the book that the main gates are on the other side. In fact, so they have to walk all the way around the city.
Yeah, they did.
To get to the. But you can see as you fly by, this place, if you can imagine, began as a green hill with nothing on it.
Yeah.
So all of the blocks you see, more or less, were placed by hand here.
what was your inspiration for the layout of here? Like this I don't know. This reminds me of Latra because that's the medium that I'm most familiar with, but
Of course,
it does
yeah.
look slightly different.
I suppose it reminds. Well, we're both drawing from the same source, right? So yeah. I mean, it was certainly a circular city made of trees. Live up in the trees. All this. I'll just TP you guys to the main gate now, just so you can see it. So it's definitely a sight to see.
So you killed my PC again. 1 second.
No problem. Grimdark says in the comments too, and this is actually a really good point. So, right, you guys said September 3006, and you can see how the leaves are turning from green to gold as it is becoming winter, because they were green in the summer, and then so even down to that level of detail, phenomenal job, absolutely phenomenal.
A funny point there is it's actually that's something we've kind of gone through somewhat of a time shift in the last couple of things, especially as we start planning into Gondor and considering southern climates.
Yeah.
But the forest will actually be a lot more green after some updates in some time. So it'll be a version of Lothlorien that almost nobody's like depicted, and we're excited to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tolkien talks about in spring and summer, Lorien was obviously green leaves, but laden with golden blossom. So throughout the year, it had this golden roof and golden floor. But it'll be an interesting way of doing it. And yes, here you are. So this is the main tree, the lawn below, the fountain, and then the main flat of Galadriel and Celeborn up here. So all these different flats high up in the trees, and
wow.
It's pretty smart. There you are. So this is their thrones.
Wow. We are so high up.
Yeah. It's the biggest tree in all the land, and you could see for miles, presume. A very small reference that you might notice in here, the pillars on either side, if you're looking at the thrones, the big pillars on either side, one is silver and one is gold. Reference to the two trees. And also the hair of Celeborn and Galadriel, right? One, him silver and her gold.
Yeah.
So,
oh, you guys just absolutely did such a good job. Just absolutely blown away. Wow.
It's cool to get these subtle references.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe not everyone realizes it.
I imagine it's so much fun for you guys to show off as well.
Yeah.
It's great. It is just fun to have people, come on and appreciate, the work that we've been doing. It is very gratifying.
Yeah.
And it's just cool to share the world with other Tolkien fans, because it's great when you see something here, like as you say with Karen Amroth, you just immediately knew where we are and where we are in the world and the significance of it. Right up here at the top, this is actually a note from Unfinished Tales that tells us that Celeborn and Galadriel lived in the highest flat in the land. They had a flat above the main thing that the Fellowship visited, and this is where they are.
So is that's an advantage, right, that you guys have over the Lord of the Rings Online as well, is you're not worried about copyright issues so you can use things like Unfinished Tales and everything like that, right? So has that been nice, and being able to reference Silmarillion and things like that?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, the other nice thing about Minecraft, I didn't mention at the start, but I don't know if you're familiar with Merp, which was a Skyrim mod that was trying to make all of Middle Earth kind of in a way a little bit like this. They were shut down by Warner Brothers several years ago because Shadow of Mordor was coming out, and they didn't want competition basically.
Interesting.
And the nice thing about Minecraft in a way is that, I guess, and also because we're not trying to make a game here, this is basically the biggest art project you've ever seen.
Virtual tour, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not infringing on stuff in the way that maybe an actual game would be.
Yeah.
And so we're able to not be so worried about the copyright stuff and just do the best job that we possibly can do with all of the information that we have.
Yeah.
Which is, as you say, it is nice to be able to do that.
Yeah. Wow. Cool. All right. Well, let's see the Pillars of the King.
Yeah. Well, I was going to take you quickly down to the mirror,
Oh yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Just very, very briefly. It's a worthwhile location.
Could walk through walk down to it.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, if you follow, I don't know where you are. If you follow the stream from the main flat down, you'll get there.
Oh, I see. I see Mr. Tom Bombadil. Okay, here we go.
Okay, yeah. So if you let me just orient myself where we are now. Oh, this is a different stream.
Oh.
There's lots of streams. I should have said that. Okay, no,
I'll
run this
TP.
way.
Oh,
I'll
there we go.
TP.
There we go.
I'm sorry, I let you astray.
Bombadil was just off, you know.
You
Doing
were
his
chasing
thing.
after Goldberry.
Yeah, exactly. The classic.
I was off looking for water lilies or something.
There it is.
Yeah, no, here we are. So this is the garden. Below here.
Wow. Wow.
A cool little place.
Yeah. Sam and
You got
Frodo.
here. You got like
I love someone in chat said only a bunch of Lord of the Rings nerds would get this excited over a treehouse.
Oh
Very
yeah.
true.
Oh, I love
It's
that
cool
the
to
water's moving too. That's awesome.
Yeah. Eventually, I'd like to somehow implement something where you get close to this and you see like a vision of the eye or something.
Ooh.
That would be kind of fun. But,
That would be.
Yeah, no, and nice to look back up. I love looking back up the slope here and looking like the bridge and the cliffs, and it's just really the intention with the elves, and especially Lorien, is just to really make them feel integrated with nature. You know,
Yeah.
make it feel like they're living in harmony with it rather than trying to rule it or control it. And so the garden here, the intention is for it to feel a little wild, a little overgrown.
Don't let me interrupt now, but apparently there's an overlay that's missing on this stream.
Oh yeah, there was like a big metal pot here that I got rid of. We're all good.
Oh, my bad.
No,
That's fine.
it's all okay.
Cool. Okay, so let's. Pillars of the Kings. Let's do it.
Awesome. Yeah, sorry. I think you guys sent me that file a couple days ago here, but I just didn't want to mess with the integrity of anything.
It's all good.
We're also we're somewhat near the end of kind of the map. As far as you guys have built, you haven't gotten far into like Mirkwood as such. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, so Mirkwood, Mordor, Erebor, these are all places that are off the edge of the map currently, but obviously I'll plan in the future.
Thanks.
Yeah, here we are, Isildur and Anarion.
Yes. Even down to the hand on the axes.
Oh yeah, you're checking that detail.
Yeah.
I like
yeah.
I like the beard differential as well.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, so the beards. Okay, so we've had a whole discussion about the beards, Matt. Like, this is funny. So we built this before Nature of Middle Earth came out, and then Nature of Middle Earth came out, and we haven't updated since. But in Nature of Middle Earth, a note was revealed that the royal house of Numenor and their descendants were beardless. So Aragorn, Boromir, Faramir, Denethor, none of them could grow beards.
Too much
so
elven.
indeed, yeah, just
Really?
it's that like 0.1%
Oh,
elven
yeah, I
DNA means that they literally physically cannot grow beards. So always a fun one in reference to the whole like Rings of Power dwarf beard controversy. I always like to ask people, does Aragorn having a beard ruin Lord of the Rings for you? It's just funny. But yeah, so these statues were built before we had that information, and we will need to do a little shave on them at some point to make that accurate. But,
Granted,
just a funny detail.
I mean, to be fair to you guys as well, right? It's like, some of that stuff is not quite as canon as other stuff, right? And so it gets tricky. Yeah, I don't know. It's like you wouldn't have to remove it. In my personal opinion, you wouldn't have to remove it to stay as true to canon as possible, because
Of course,
some of those notes just like weren't quite implemented yet into any of the actual canon.
Yeah. It's one of these things where it's like if we have Tolkien's opinion on something, even if it's just like a note or something, we'll go with it. Like as long as he's not like actively contradicting himself elsewhere.
Yeah,
we'll just go,
he does.
Cool. Which he does sometimes, absolutely, and like we have to go. Okay, so which one of these did he really mean? But yeah, we have to have those.
We at least got one detail right, and that is the crowns they have on their heads are kind of the Egyptian vaguish look.
Yeah, so Tolkien actually drew the crown of Gondor,
Yeah.
and it's this high crown that's very Egyptian looking, and yeah, that's the crowns they're wearing.
Wow. So I'm flying over Nen Hithoel here, and my gosh, this lake is huge.
It's big. Yeah, it's big. You'll get to Rauros eventually if you keep flying.
Yeah.
And Tolbrandir just coming into view now.
There it is.
The Pinneth Gallon on the right, is that correct?
Yeah.
Parth Gallon is what you're.
Parth Gallon, okay.
Parth Gallon is a little.
Stone me later.
Yeah, it's the little stone you later. Yeah, I will.
Amon La and Amon Hen, very good. You got both. That's awesome.
Thanks.
That's awesome.
I love seeing and hearing.
Oh, I love them.
With the
Like,
falls.
yeah, the mist effect or the cloud effect. That's awesome.
Which block are you using?
It's like a cloud block. You can sort of layer it and turn it into these sort of as you would get on a big waterfall, just a mist. Yeah, we've got this whole area. In fact, so it's, of course this is Amon Hen. A little bit further down the slope, there's a little just over here. There's like a rock, and this is the rock around which Frodo and Boromir had their encounter. So
That's awesome.
they had a pretty nice view while they were having their discussions about their civilized discussion about the future of the game.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Very civilized. Let's see here. So, as we come over the waterfall, right, we go into the marshlands of North.
Well, if they were there, this is the edge of the map at the moment. So this is as far as we've got in this direction. We have got Gondor sort of further beyond it, but we haven't got the marshes.
Sure.
I see. Okay.
So yeah,
Awesome.
bits we don't have. Okay, cool.
Let's turn east or back west. Sorry.
Yeah, Well, should we go to Edoras?
Let's
That's
do
what
it.
I'm thinking.
Yeah. It's a whistle stop tour through the books here. Okay, here we are. So this is the sort of, well, you'll fly up, and the first thing I was talking about this earlier, but you know, I love to talk about farmland. You'll fly up and you'll notice we have a lot of farmland around Edoras.
Yeah.
So again, something that's unfortunately missed in the books is the in the films is the farmland, and yeah, we have plenty of it, and Edoras itself is enormous.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Balls here, just signs of life, you know, just to make it feel like a living city. Very important.
And you can see it's practically 1-to-1 Anglo-Saxon.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, this was stuff that was certainly very close to Tolkien's heart as a scholar of that period, and we really tried to honor it. And you know, here, for example, the whole Meduseld, this was actually inspired by a drawing of Hrothgar, the mead hall from Beowulf. Alan Mead did. So it's these connections to ancient writings that make it really.
That makes sense.
Yeah, the interior is.
Oh, you've got there are all the paintings here. So I see you took the Lotra's versions.
Yeah, and so Lotro just nailed it, and there was just no point in trying to do our own when Lotro has it, you know, so we can draw from all these sources.
Oh, absolutely.
If you were to have shaders on it and your time set, you actually would see a beam of light coming from the window and hitting the painting directly.
Hitting Eöl the Young here. So like there is a moment in the book where, you know, there's this shaft of light in the hall, and it strikes Eöl the Young, and Aragorn sort of points it out.
So that's a good thing to mention as well, right? So we're not going to hit all the locations that you guys made in 2 hours. It'd be impossible to do, and also just to make sure that the stream was able to run effectively, and to kind of give what the vanilla version of this this would be. I'm not running really shaders or anything right now, but if you guys want to check it out, explore it on your own, run these shaders and kind of see it to its full effect, I definitely encourage you to do so, right? This is almost like a demo of what they've made, so totally do that. And again, another shout out here, we're raising money for International Rescue Committee, so please donate anything that you feel you can. Any bit helps, so awesome.
Next, could we go and see? Do you guys have the barrel field?
Outside Edoras, yeah, we can go back and
I'd love to
see
go
the-
and just get a little stop by.
Yeah, throne of Theoden. And something here that you'll notice, so all around the throne we have these different banners, and these actually represent the various regions of Rohan. So you know, the green with the white horse, that's the royal banner, but on the
King's banner.
On the right hand side here, the red banner with the white horse, that's the I think that's the Westfold, if I'm right in saying.
Yeah, Westfold, and your kind of Helm's Deep region and all of that sort of thing. I believe.
Yeah, and then the white one in gold is the Wold up in the north, sort of more. So we have this whole area. So a lot of Rohan is settled, like we've seen, but we have this area in the north around the Wold and East End where we actually have nomadic herdsmen living out there on the plains with their flocks, and you know they'll travel around and sell their flocks to the more settled people. But Rohan's interesting in that sense that they are mostly a settled sort of farming people, but they have this subset of almost nomadic horse riders who would have been certainly the best horse riders in Mark.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's quite cool. And yeah, we have a little war planning room and all this.
Oh, that is super cool.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah, we can go see the battlefield quickly.
Yeah, let's do it.
Lovely done, Harrow.
Ah, yes.
So a small detail from the book: the symbol Myrna only grew on the western side barrows.
Yep.
You'll see that, and we have the correct number. I can't remember what. I think it was 7 on the left and 9 on the right.
That sounds right. Yeah, that sounds.
Yeah, something like that. Upon the grave of Helm Hammerhand, the symbol Myrna grew most thickly.
Yes. Yes.
Down
it
to
did.
that. It's down to that.
Wow. Wow. Oh, I'm just blown away.
And just to turn around, just to get a quick feeling, like all this stuff out here, like Rohan just goes on. We have villages, towns, like Edoras is the capital of this kingdom, but it is a whole kingdom. There is so many villages, so many homesteads that we've built out in the plains.
So many farms.
Yeah. It's important to get that kind of veracity of actually, okay, how would these people have lived? How would the average, peasant in Rohan have lived? And this is kind of the thing that we're going for here.
I used to call this the first Pizza Hut. It's a bit disrespectful.
Yeah, we've just gone out in a random direction here, and already there's like another village and
town, and
places
wow.
to see.
So when you think back and when you look back, I know you said like Hobbiton was redone and everything like that. But do you feel when you're here? Do you remember being like much older than you were back when you were making Hobbiton, and like again that kind of nostalgia? Does that play into this? Where you're just like, oh, I remember coming here when I was doing this thing in my life.
Yeah, definitely. And there's definitely when you go back and look at the older projects, you definitely get feelings for like the phases of the project and the people who were building it and the people you knew at the time. And it's cool. It's cool to remember that, and the community aspect of this is such a huge part of it, right? It's doing this as a group. You could never do any of this on your own, right? So.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. Oh my gosh.
Do you feel like this project will ever truly be over for you guys? I don't mean that like, when you guys are going to pack it up. Do you feel like with the constant evolution, do you see an end at all ever for when you're actually finished building? Or do you think there will always be something to improve?
So the advantage of where we're at now in terms of compared to where we were before is that the mod that we use, obviously you'll notice this is not looking like normal Minecraft, in case you hadn't noticed. The mod that we use has basically come to a point where it's added everything that it wants to add, and it's pretty good. So we're in a nice place now. I mean, many of the things that we had to update before came about because we didn't have access to so many of the things that we have now. So updating those old places to new builds has been a big process. But I think we're in a place now where we've sort of reached the limits of what we can do in terms of quality, and now it's just about pushing forward. So I hope that we get to that kind of point where we can say that we are, more or less happy with it. But we'll have to see, right? There probably will, to some extent, always be something that can be improved, right? That's just kind of the nature of it.
Well, as long as there's interest, we'll be around. As long as it's fun and a good hobby project, there, can always do better.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, that's something that's just completely astounding to me. It's like, obviously none of you guys are getting paid for this. Doing this out of your own love for, Minecraft, Lord of the Rings, etc., everything, and it's really inspiring.
It is.
It's just fun, and it's just seeing these places come to life. I mean, again, I don't think no prizes for guessing where we are now, but it's just cool to be like, hey, this is a cool new interpretation of this place that we've read about and seen in films, but never quite seen in this way. And this is, of course, this is the Hornburg. This is the Hornburg as it was laid out and described.
Yeah. Well, and it's
and
even
in a token drawing.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say it's even impressing here. You've got Helm's Dyke. You've got the tiny wall before the big wall. Very impressive. Oh my gosh.
And all the cliffs and so on behind. Unfortunately, if you were going to ask, the caves are not yet done.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, but incredible.
Yeah.
You know a guy now, so
We do have a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go inside and see inside the main tower. Sort of lowest floor is where the men would have eaten, and then you go upper floor, and it's sort of the more oval feasting hall. And this court, at the time, you'll see that around the castle there are these repairs being made, and we get that detail in the book that Erkenbrand, who was the Lord of the Westfold, had made repairs to Helm's Deep. He sort of realised that dark times were coming, and they probably should fix up that old fortress they have.
And about the time that you said too, right? Like, yeah, wow.
Yeah, all the towers up here. And in fact, I think if we go up to the top... In fact, is it this one? Is it in here? Or is it one more? I can't remember now. Where the Horn of Helm Hammerhand was kept. Oh, no, is it? It's on the wall here. There we go. Found it. Just where we were.
Oh, I'll come back down.
Just above the desk. Yeah, you jump back down the...
Perfect.
Just here. So again,
yes,
a small thing. In the film, the horn was turned into
like a giant.
A giant. Yeah, exactly. It's like it was like part of the tower or something. But in the book, the literal horn that
he would sound it before going out there and killing Dunlendings with his bare hands.
Yeah. And it was found frozen on Helm's Dyke, right? I believe
it was.
Will be a very cool thing to see.
Oh, I'm so excited! Absolutely.
Cool. Okay. Well, a couple more places I had in mind.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Half hour left.
I mean, if you want us to go a little bit fast, I mean, we're taking a little bit of time, just kind of wandering about.
Yeah.
No, don't worry. It's. I mean, this project is built for that, right? We want people to wander around, right?
Where to next?
Oh. Well, I'm sure you'll figure it out. If you go up to the gate there, if you reach up to them, this is a cool site.
Yep.
Oh my!
Pre-industrialized Isengard.
Yeah.
Well.
So I'm hitting some lag spikes. There we go.
I was gonna say pre-industrialized on the surface.
Yeah,
If you
true.
look
Oh.
closely at patches of the forest, you can see smoke rising from chimneys.
So it's like he's not quite revealed himself
Yeah.
just yet, but the corruption is well and truly set in. I'll put it that way.
Wow.
Big fan.
And actually scattered throughout the forest, there are a couple hidden entrances to underground forges.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, he was starting to really harass Rohan, right? And Theoden was still of able mind at this point, but he was starting to decline. Absolutely.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, it was a slow decline, and of course with the fact that Saruman had a whole orc army, he must have started preparing things. You would have thought at least about 20 years previously, if not even before that. And this is only 12 years before the War of the Ring, so things were definitely well and truly underway at Isengard.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's one part that I always found a bit funny is we've got the balcony that he would stand on here when he was talking to everybody. But in the movies, he's just on top of the tower.
Yeah, he just
so,
stands on the top.
Yeah.
Which is,
Yeah,
I
just
always
like,
thought just a
what's he
little
saying?
silly.
I mean, he had a good voice, right? But
Yeah.
Probably not that.
Which is funny because he also had a balcony that he used at a different point in like the Two Towers, but at the Return of the
that's
King, he was like,
true.
I'm going all the way up
Maximum effect.
when he falls. Yeah.
Maybe he hadn't got his steps in for that day or something.
Yeah.
I think the best part about Isengard here is you look at Orthanc and you go, oh, this is pretty big. And then it's like we did a scale test and, we truly want Orthanc to look like a petty toy next to Paradur.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna look like a little outcropping next to when we do Barad-dûr.
As I go through Orthanc here, I'm just now realizing how much it would actually kind of suck to live in a tower, just constantly be going up stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Saruman must have been like, pretty thick guy, right?
I was only halfway down. What?
Yeah.
Got so many staircases.
I even got like lost. Lost in the kitchen. There we go. That's hilarious.
And you'll notice, of course, the design of the tower much more naturalistic, much more like a natural rock that was kind of fused into one by the Númenóreans rather than the more carved or maybe built looking thing that we see in the films. We have a drawing by Tolkien of this tower and directly on this. So.
Yeah.
I really like the design. I think
It's incredible.
it's different enough from most of the adaptations that we see, but it's still immediately recognizable and super well done. That's off.
Yeah. Saruman needs a higher housekeeping. Says our comments.
Well, we actually, we have, I mean, out in the valley, we have like Dunlending settlements and stuff where, he would have had, men under his command who would have, been servants within Orthanc, but also farming the fields outside Orthanc and just keeping up the whole. I mean, this whole place was maintained as a kind of outpost of Gondor for centuries, right? And so,
yeah,
they would have had, they had like local chieftain who was descended from Gondorian nobility who lived here for many years until that line died out and became more and more Dunlendingized, if that's a word.
Yeah, eventually they took over and then they were ousted and Saruman replaced them, but...
Yeah, indeed. So it's kind of interesting in the sense that this is a whole sort of community in a way that Saruman sort of rules over as the local lord.
Yeah,
It's will represent. And of course the walls, if you go out to the walls, they're all hollow, filled with armories and barracks and kitchens, dungeons, and, warg dens, presumably.
How about let's see, how about Durndingle, the place where the Ents had their Entmoot?
Do we have that?
It's not done.
Oh, you're good. Yeah. How about Treebeard's house, or like cave rather?
Not done. I mean, so the thing with the trees is that we are we have a plan to update them because of the new things in the mod. We have a lot of new trees coming in, so Fangorn needs a redo. And we'll be getting a redo. So
Cool. Yeah, sounds good.
That's
Excited to see that one.
We had a couple of small locations in mind, actually, like deep lore cuts.
Let's do
One
it.
was Thrall's Hall in Dunland, which is kind of again very
Okay.
small, but
Yes.
Let's take a look.
Let's do it.
so real deep cuts. We'll go to like a Dunlanding settlement nearby first, just so you guys can get a look at how the Dunlandings live.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's see.
Cool. Okay, so Dunland, a more rough and ready land than Rohan, of course. Not in such a advantageous place,
Yeah.
and these, as you can see, noticeably different from the Rohirrim structures.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
So this is like based on Iron Age Britain, basically. Going on.
That is super cool. Iron Age Britain. Wow.
You can get inside any one of these, and I'm not sure. Can you get in there? Yeah.
They're very thin Dunlandings. There we go.
Yes. Yeah, and so just the very sort of standard interior that you would get in these places: fire in the middle, people sleeping around the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, very. This is really what you would see.
Wow, that's just the amount of detail. Like, so do you guys have like designated lore masters, historians? Did you major in history in college? Like,
I did actually.
oh, that's awesome.
So I'm like reasonably well informed about the lore, but we have other people who are very well informed as well. And before we start any project, we'll go through and check all of the relevant stuff to make sure that we're not missing anything, or got everything down. We'll start with that as a basis, and then we'll go, okay, so we've got that as a basis, but which historical cultures can we look at to base other things, or other aspects of it on?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we were going for. If we go off here, we'll go off in an easterly direction, and we'll find Thrall's Hall, where he used to live. Him and Thrain and Thorin and their folk, for a while, before the War of Dwarves and Orcs, I think.
Perfect. I might have to clear my RAM really fast before we get to Minas Tirith. I'm hitting quite a few lag spikes.
Yeah, you might want to reduce your render distance.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
We actually have plans to upgrade to a much faster version of Minecraft in the near future. So if you ever come back for another tour, you might that'd be a lot better for you.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm excited to see what progress you guys make over the years and everything. There we go. All right, that's better.
So you'll see down here, there's this old road that's kind of a bit worn. It's on your left, if you look down. And this leads to the door of what was the old hall where they.
Wow.
So,
rather than going to fast graphics, I think you should stay on fancy, but just turn your renders from 31 down to like 20 or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Stay on fancy. And then...
Go to the secret entrance if
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people come here and they're like, so how do I get in here? So there is a little sort of chimney or crack or something here at the top. Find it.
right.
Here it is.
Covered in grass.
Drop down. And this place obviously has been abandoned for something like 200 years, I think. But this is a place that obviously after the fall of Erebor, the royal family, along with a few of their kin, came here to offer their services to the Dunlandings to make a living, really, so forging and road building and these sorts of things.
Absolutely.
And they were here for memory, I think 20 years, maybe a little longer.
Yeah.
And then after that, Thrall got it into his head that he was going to retake Moria, which
didn't quite work out for him.
No, not so good. And after the War of the Dwarves and Orcs, of course, they left and went to Thorin, which is another place we've built that probably won't get the chance to see before this end of this video, but is a significantly, we say, nicer, grander place than this is. And this is really really the dwarves at their lowest point in some ways.
Yeah. Very important point, though. Absolutely. Cool.
So what places do you want to get in here before we hit our 2-hour mark? And obviously we
Well-
don't. Some of you guys are up quite late, so don't want to keep
Yeah.
it too long.
Yeah, extremely deep cut. We were going to go to Tolgallin, which is still above the waves. It's the place where Beren and Luthien came to in Beleriand, and before they passed away, it was their final place, living on Earth. We've got a nice little Easter egg, what should we call it, there, and then we'll probably just head to Minas Tirith for the last sort of 15 or so minutes, I think.
Sounds
That
good.
excellent to me.
I got stuck, so I need to teleport.
Okay, we'll get you
Thanks.
out. We'll get you out.
How'd you get stuck?
I don't know. I went into this hole in the wall, and now I can't get out.
I just started flying, and now I'm in like a little bonfire. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
really
think
fast.
those-
Shout out to International Rescue Committee. We're raising money for them tonight, so anything helps. Thank you so much.
Okay, here we are. This is Tolgallin in the Elven realm of Lindon, and you'll see here this grove of birch trees and beech and 2 graves. It's
Very good.
the grave of Beren and Luthien, which survived
Yeah.
the War of Wrath and the sinking of most of Beleriand, but this area quite close to the Blue Mountains survived, remained above the waves, and this would have been, we think, a place
Yeah.
of sort of almost pilgrimage, probably.
Absolutely. I mean, in many ways, right? This is the graves of Tolkien and Edith. So
Yeah, indeed.
wow.
So a nice place to come to. On the
Yeah.
little-
Did you all make Tol Morwen as well?
Yep.
Yeah.
Another deep cut, another grave.
Let's take a look if you don't mind. Let's take a look at
Absolutely. So
Turin.
this was a little bit further out in the ocean. Shall we put it that way?
yeah.
Survived I think the Valar set this place aside. I think they deliberately kept it above the waves, from what I could tell.
Oh, that gives me goosebumps. That is incredible.
This is way out. This is like the furthest point from land anywhere on our map. It's so far out.
If you were to get in a Minecraft boat, it would take you about an hour to an hour and a half to get here, depending on how good your
Wow.
focus
But
was.
far out.
Wow.
Wow, it's right. This is so cool. How far deep do you put this?
Not super
Not-
deep. Yeah, so the ocean
not-
isn't very
not-
deep.
not
The
crazy.
reason the ocean isn't very deep is so we can have big mountains, basically. It's like a bit on the hike to the world. So.
Yeah.
But,
Now the
but yeah,
seagulls love it here, so
they're really cool.
Wow.
Deep
And
cut.
notice
Oh.
the sequel. It's just like
This is so
it's a part of
incredible.
the mod.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, for the
All right.
final, I think 15 minutes, we should probably,
Yeah.
hit the
Let's-
place that I think
Everybody's
has
wanting to
probably
see.
been the most anticipated build of our server since
Yeah.
the beginning. And it's a place that we are pouring an enormous amount of effort into.
Yeah,
Put it that way.
Yeah.
and it is very work in progress. So just to set everyone.
That's
Yeah, no
not
problem.
an issue. I mean, I think it's really good for us to see just like the work going in actively.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at this.
Makes it so real. My goodness. The outer wall.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of those projects where we really get to stretch our legs with our new mod pack and all the new things in it. And you'll see, especially looking around at the exteriors and interiors of buildings, it's a lot more detailed than anything we've done yet, and will take a huge undertaking.
Absolutely.
How
How
long?
Yeah. That's what I ask. Go for it.
You go first, Josh. I was just gonna ask, how long has it been since you broke ground here on Minas Tirith?
And how long do you think it'll
Oh.
be? Yeah.
I mean, I think if I'm remembering correctly, we began this around December last year, so it's almost like 11 months, I guess. I mean, obviously, if you extrapolated that out, you could say, like, looking at what we've done, that'd be like 10 years. But legitimately, it gets a lot faster as we learn what we're doing and learn how the styles should look. Yeah, there's a lot of learning that goes into doing a structure like this, especially because nowhere in Middle Earth will be like this.
Exactly.
Very special.
Also, it helps that you seem to have most of the lower. As I'm flying around, a lot of the lowest tier, and they all get smaller from there. So
Yeah.
There's the giant crown over the throne. Whoa.
Yeah, we don't skimp. on this stuff.
They even have statues if you're just walking around.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
I love how it's even darker in here too, because this was during Denethor's rule, and that's what he liked.
Yeah, it's very nice. I'm a big fan of the throne room. I mean, this is like an early test, to put it that way. This will probably have some edits done to it as we go.
Yeah.
But it's a nice place to represent.
The throne is based on the dust jacket at Return of the King. The throne is actually on it.
Oh.
Yeah, the circular throne with the wings and then the tree above it and the crown is all very like this is how Tolkien.
Well done, gentlemen. Well done.
I mean, I was going to say we could suggest going down into the actual city just to have a look at the streets and how.
Yeah.
I can bring us down to basically what's more or less a complete section.
Yeah, let's do that.
That would take away from us the opportunity to jump out.
Yeah, I was about to say we gotta
jump out. Yeah, gotta jump up. You got to do the thing that Denethor absolutely did not do in the book.
Yeah.
It would have been ridiculous for him to run like a mile on fire.
Woo!
But it's still good.
It is very.
This is Anarion, by the way. So this is the founder
There
of
he
this
is.
city.
How long do you think it'll take before completing Minas Tirith?
I would hope 3 years.
2-3 years. Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Somewhere around there. Yeah, we can make our way along the streets to the more complete sections, but this is the Lampright Street. Would be some of the oldest structures in Minas Tirith.
Well, and I bet you guys are excited. Right after finishing Minas Tirith, then you got Pelargir and Dol Amroth and.
Yeah.
Argent and Dol Amroth. Like Argent's very much like that's your.
That is my dream project.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm a huge fan of South Gondor. Personally, I just love
Yes.
as a concept, and so
Yeah.
I'm right with you there.
It's really underexplored in a lot of adaptations and a lot of art, and we're going to go full Mediterranean, basically.
Love it. Love the choice.
You'll see. I mean, you can already see here. I'm sure like Mediterranean influences on the architecture and kind of Romanesque feel to everything, but yeah, it's going to be like even more of that.
There's an elevator to the right here.
Wow.
It's dangerous. I don't recommend getting on it.
There's the practical considerations of Minas Tirith as well. It's like, okay, so how do you transport goods up through the various levels? It's like, you have a series of ropes and pulleys and everything. So we've got that all figured out as well. And of course, Minas Tirith is divided up into these different guild districts, so like lamprights and tailors and didn't quite stick the land. Lamprights and tailors and weavers and different professions, carpenters that would make up the different regions of the city. And you'll see it as you go.
Come back just across town, back to the first level.
Yeah.
You kind of get to more of what's complete, and you can look at how we've kind of designed at least the first gate up to the next level.
You can go in and see all the notes and things that are being left for the builders as they build. But you can, almost the further back we go, the more complete this is, because we're kind of working from the back. Front
I see.
Oh wow! Look at this.
But yeah, Minas Tirith goes back a ways. Like it It's
and all throughout here are sewer systems and old caverns, and there's graves built into the mountains back here, and it goes on for miles and miles.
Because of course on the top of the ridge leading back into the mountain was Rathdin and the Silent Street where the kings were buried. But we kind of thought, okay, so where do all the common people get buried? And it's actually all back here. There's this whole catacomb system that would have sort of filled the rock here of these various graves and so on, and you can go into explore and.
My goodness. Like, I think you guys are even thinking of things that, like, Tolkien didn't think about, or at least, like, like, where were the common people buried? Unless that is a part of the lore, but, where he says that at some point. But I feel like you guys are even thinking about it in a different analytical aspect almost, which is just
Tolkien obviously, was a student of mythology and of all this sort of thing, and he approached Lord of the Rings from a mythological perspective, which I think obviously was the right choice and makes for an incredible read. But when we're doing this, it's almost, you have to think about it, as you say, in a more analytical, historical, economic sometimes way, and obviously and all the natural, geological, botanical stuff that we have to think about too. So it's all that goes into it. That I mean, as you well know, like Tolkien's world feels so real and so believable, and the reason that it feels so real and so believable is because he drew so much from real world mythologies and real world stories, and so we're kind of doing the same thing. It's just a way, but keeping true to that belief and that.
I mean, realistically, you guys are. There's a large part of this, especially with these large settlements, that you guys are city planning, which is like a real job that people do, and it's incredibly complicated and difficult. And you guys, I mean,
doing it.
We've been in what, like 6 different cities just in this tour, and there's more to come. Like, that's crazy. That's awesome.
And another level of difficulty, particularly with something like Minas Tirith, is that we have to show that it's thousands of years old and has changed over time.
Yeah, we actually have like different styles worked out for the various periods, and like how those architectural styles have evolved over the years, from the heyday of Numenor down to the Stewards' time, and how the materials have changed and how the expertise has changed, and there's all that is going into it. To when you walk around, it's not just the same kind of building over and over again. It's you can tell that the city has layers of history and culture kind of going back a long time, and that's really important.
This gate here between the tiers is awesome.
Yeah. Our next to it is, in fact, and some people might already know this, but very heavily inspired by Alan Lee, and we're not afraid to utilize designs and take inspiration from those Tolkien artists that we really love, because there's a lot of great things and people want to see them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just how just like
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I made a bush here.
I play some block.
I love working on nature stuff and roads, so cliffs and roads are things I love doing around here. I don't get into building stuff. It's disgusting to do that.
So would you consider that kind of your area of expertise? Is just kind of the naturalist areas and wilderness and such?
Expertise, that's a strong word, but no, it is something I love doing. So me leading Bree is a bit out of my natural element at the moment, so I can't wait for it to be over. I don't have to think that hard about nature stuff.
Yeah, I mean, different people definitely have different like areas of expertise. I mean, I mentioned earlier we've got that botanist, but we've had we've got a guy. One of the guys leading Minas Tirith is actually taking geology as like his major in college, so that's been really helpful.
That was what I did in college. Geologist.
Oh, awesome! Yeah. So I mean, having that, but also historians. We've got a Swedish guy who's really into like historical. Like I think at the moment he's making his own like shirt, like a medieval sort of peasant's shirt, and like he's really interested in like that stuff, and like people with all sorts of interesting hobbies and interests, and they kind of coalesce together into this kind of cool kaleidoscope of a team, and that have all sorts of interests. It's really cool, and I mean this over here is, I'm not sure where you are now, but this is the I'll TP you actually. This is the Weavers district. So this is the kind of area that where most of the sort of weaving and tailoring and so on in Minas Tirith will come up. That's that level of
the most current area.
As you guys like explore this with us, right? So since you built this, how do you find enjoyment in it, or are you guys looking for cracks in your own like work? Are you like how are your brains processing this kind of as we walk through? What are you guys thinking about?
I can start, and I guess it's probably one of the more negative answers, but truly, it's very typical, I think, of most people on the server to just hyper analyze what they've done at every step. Like we were going throughout builds today that I've seen that I did a year back when I was like learning how to build in this pack, and it's just like, oh, that's awful, I'd love to change that. But at some point you have to realize there's so much of Middle Earth to build, and you only get there by practicing. It's just a case of just keep making stuff, and there's plenty of diversity.
I mean, if it's any
Yeah.
consolation, that's the same way with me with my videos. Like,
Yeah.
you just kind of have
I
to
think
start.
it's-
Yeah.
It's true of any artistic endeavor, right? Like any
Yeah.
artist, if it's a musician or a painter or anything, they look back at their old work and they're always like, oh, I wish I'd done this differently or whatever. But then the eternal thing also is that the people who, the fans, the people who enjoy the stuff, and I always tell people this, we still have people coming on and looking at like the builds we did back in, like in 2014 or something, 2015. And just being like, wow, this is awesome! Like, this is really cool! Like, and we're looking at like, this is terrible!
Yeah.
Like, this is awful! Like, what are you looking at? Like, it's really funny to see how those different experiences.
That is like, yeah, definitely like me looking back at my videos from 2017, 2018. I'm like, well, people actually like that.
Yeah, it's really funny. It's really, and it's
Yeah.
you have to kind of get over yourself in a way. Like,
Yeah,
just
you do.
recognize, take
Yeah.
a step back.
I think I go for just about everybody stream and probably everybody who's ever logged in. Say this is just there hasn't been a moment where I've looked at something and thought anything other than, well, this is just fantastic.
Me too. I've just been absolutely blown away, and if we want to start kind of wrapping things up, you guys built Linden, right? So have you built Mythalon to the Grey Havens?
So very related to our conversation that we just had. We built that back in 2016, 2017. It's not what we want it to be.
Okay.
So like,
I might suggest, just like as an alternative to that, we can go there, or we can look at one of our rural Gondorian towns we put a lot of work into.
Yeah, let's
let's
do it.
do that.
Let's do it.
I will put us there.
Just thinking of a
Done
place
that.
to send us off after our
yeah.
adventure.
In a cozy Honorian homestead. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. So, really fast, I'm just going to say we raised some money tonight for the International Rescue Committee. Thank you to all who donated, who thought about donating. This, donation cycle, this charity stream will be up for a couple days. Like, the stream will continue to be up forever or whatever, but, like, you can continue
to donate through it.
Yeah, for next couple days, I want to say, for this weekend. So, again, thank you so much to anyone who donated. I'll thank our Valar tier patrons again in just a second. But first, let's take one last look here at this village. Sorry, my dog's squeaking behind me, so that's how I know it's time to wrap things up.
But just a feeling for, like we were, earlier in Rohan. Yeah, we've got the big stuff. We've got Edoras. We've got Earth. But you go out into the countryside and there's a whole world out here of people living their lives, and just the average Gondorian peasant farmer would have been living in a place like this while the War of the Ring was going on. And
next to Anduin, right?
Yeah, this is the Anduin, and actually just over here on the edge of sight is where Carandros will be, the fortress of Gondor. So
That's
yeah,
sweet.
so this is Athelians on the other side, and you get a feeling.
Yeah.
You could really see the like Mediterranean inspiration in the art.
We got a guy.
You got a guy.
We got a guy. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's really fun to do Mediterranean stuff, and to get it all come together.
Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for this. This has been wonderful, and thanks for reaching out. I'm so glad we were able to do this, raise some money for a good cause, and I know Royan is as well, like, very, very impressed by this. So thank you again, and super good job.
It's been a real pleasure having you on, and thank you for using the opportunity to raise some money for a good cause. It's really appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Everyone in the live chat who's been here throughout from the beginning, or who will watch us in the future. So one of the top links in the description, right next to the charity, is ArdaCraft's website itself, right? So
guys, go give this a try, because I'm imagining watching the stream was pretty cool. You got to come in and experience it for yourself. You got to do just a little wandering aspect that, as I've been doing, kind of wandering away from the group at every location I've gotten to. And I gotta say, it's a fantastic feeling of just wandering. It's exactly the kind of feeling that I used to I still get from Latro, and I think that Minecraft is very accessible platform for most people. And working with the Curse Forge and the modding can be a little bit hairy, but they have a very nice guide on how to get it done on their website. So I really do suggest anybody who's watching this go give it a shot. Talk to your friends about it. This is too good to not at least dip your toes in.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I would say like we've got a Discord. Anyone can join, and if you are at all interested in once you've looked around and seen the world, if you're at all interested in helping out, we've got an applications process on our Discord, and it's all there, and we are more than willing to help you join the team and help build Middle Earth, because that's it for us.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what as well, so for the Men of the West Discord and everything, we've got our own Discord channel for patrons and YouTube members and friends of the channel. So ArdaCraft, Fornod, you're in here, right? So I'll go ahead and build, after we're done here, I'll make another text channel for ArdaCraft, and just go ahead and throw whatever links in there that you want to, so that way patrons or whoever can go through my Discord channel and get to you if that works as well. So
thank you so much. That's really appreciated.
yeah, absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and read off patrons again, our Valar tier patrons, really fast. Thank you so much to Peter Sheppard, Jonathan Putnam, Mark Kralick, Blair Scouten, Merten, John Hume, Sam mcbee, Matt Sibbach, Elizabeth Calvert, Maz Gibs, Rhys Jenkins, Adam Petrlik, Anthony Harmon, Dorwin Gray, Arthur, Merlin, DJ Vaught, Dale Davis, and Alex Grimes. Thanks for supporting the channel. It means so much to me. My friends, please check out, again, if you want to donate anything to the International Rescue Committee, this will be going for another couple days, so thank you so much for that. Please check out ArdaCraft, and again, to you guys, thank you so much for the invite and for making all of this happen, making all this possible. Continue, keep up the great work, right? I'm so excited to see where this project goes. My friends, I'll see you all on Sunday with another video. We're going through the first stage in under 5 minutes, so hopefully you guys look forward to that. Any final thoughts from anyone, or are we good to go?
I'll just say again, it's been a pleasure, and I hope to have you on again at some point in the future to show you more.
Totally. Totally. Alrighty. My friends, thank you all so much for joining us on this adventure. Until the next one.